7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You'll never have the sacred stone.
Oh, this you crazy mother.
Is she satisfied or dissatisfied? She is just a customer, just like everyone else. Like always, giving it to you raw and unedited. Over to you, the short one.
Hello, friends. I'm calling you friends because I feel like we are friends. You know, because I talk to you all the time when I don't miss a podcast. And I tell you things that, you know, little gossipy chat thing. I mean, if I was listening to this, I'd literally be sitting down with... I don't drink hot drinks, so it won't be a cup of tea or a cup of coffee. I'll be having a little Vimto in a wine glass. Because I love Vimto. Vimto is, like, amazing for me. And that's my little tipple. But, yes, so, another week and I've been gone. Oh, look at me. So bad. But if you follow my social media, you would have been aware that I wasn't around and that there was no podcast. So that goes to show, if you're not liking the page or following or whatever it is, you are lost on what happened. You're like, oh my gosh, I want to hear the short one's dulcet tones on the podcast, or I want to hear what's been happening in her life and all that kind of stuff. But it's very easy. Follow me on Twitter at I am just a customer, Facebook, Instagram, I am just a customer. Or if not, just go to the website, which is www.iamjustacustomer.com. So anyway, why was the short one not around? So it was my birthday, and my birthday was actually on the 10th, and it was just a very good day. I was so shattered. By the time I got home to St. Albans, look at me, I'm calling St. Albans home. By the time I got home, it was just like, I was just cream crackered. I didn't even know my name or anything. Now this, bearing in mind, I don't drink alcohol or take drugs. So this was just bare tired. I'm speaking straight. But don't worry, I was keeping notes and tabs as I went along, so they are stuff that I need to tell you. So, firstly, how do I start with this one? Okay, so I got a call saying, can you send me some money on Western Union? So I was like, yeah, sure. And you know when you've had such a hard week, a really sort of hard week, and then you look forward for the weekend and you're like, this weekend I'm going to relax. The most I'll do is go to the market, buy some nectarines. But I thought, okay, fine, I'll go to Western Union. So my nearest Western Union, I wasn't sure if you could use a card, because I was assuming you have to use cash. I have no idea. So if anyone saw me that morning, I looked rough as fuck. I looked like, what's that phrase? Oh, I've forgotten the phrase. Something to do, the walk of shame. But, I wasn't dressed up all tarty or anything like that. Not that they look like tarts, but you know what I mean. And I looked, let's just say I looked homeless. You know, I'm surprised no one threw money at me or offered me a free coffee or something like that. But anyway, so I go get the cash out of the cash machine, and I like to use the HSBC one, which was fine, great. I tend to go inside HSBC because the St. Albans one, the one they've got on the outside. Now, I am short, yeah, hence the short one. But I still have to go into some kind of, limbo stance. Literally, crouch. And I'm doing the limbo because it's so low. I mean, I once saw a guy taking money out. He was about to do the splits, like a perfect splits. like perfect, where everything's touching the floor just to get money out. It was quite funny because I was behind him. I was like laughing a little bit because it was quite comical. But I just think, oh gosh, this guy is a drama queen and I like him already. But anyway, took out the cash, and so I thought, doesn't Rymans do Western Union? I'm sure they do. Because I know there's something I see like yellow and black that they do. Whether it's, even though DHL is yellow and red. But I'm so sure. So I went round the corner, went to Rymans, and there were two young people at the till. I'm not being ageist here. There were two young people at the till. And I guess they were the students, like going to uni or something, or preparing for the graduation or something. But they were talking about graduating anyway. So I was like, hi, you do Western Union? Because I did that thing where you can blatantly see it says Western Union, but, you sort of question it. I'm like, excuse me, do you do Western Union? And they were like, yeah, we do. And they were so helpful. Like, yeah, we do, but we can't do it. We've got to call the manager. And I was like, yep, cool, that's fine, that's great. So I waited for, 90 seconds. Manager comes out and he's preparing the Western Union thing, like, I don't know, whatever. And whilst he's doing this, he is becoming part of their conversation. So I could have literally just been an invisible person. And the only time he talked to me was when he had to. So he'll look down at me because he's quite tall. He'll look down at me and say, do you have your ID? So I'm going through my purse, right? My purse has so many receipts from like years ago, all that kind of stuff. And I was like, somewhere in here. I've got my driving license somewhere in here. And he carried on, like literally, if you got your ID, and I was like, oh yeah, it should be my purse. Then continued talking to these people. I mean, I'm not saying that he should have been bantering with me, but to me it was more like, I'm here. Hello? I'm right here. You can't say you never saw me because we've just spoken. I'd get it if which I do sometimes get by very tall people, where they'll be like, oh, the lady's behind you. And they do look around and like, for that split moment, it's like, where? And then they look down, because I'll be like, hello? And they'll be like, oh, there you are. And they get embarrassed. I don't. I have a little laugh. But anyway, so this guy continued, like, to me it was like, wait a minute. I'm assuming you finished uni or whatever. So I don't understand why you have to be so involved in their conversation. And as a manager, I'd like for you to have been like, guys, can so-and-so go and do this on the top floor? Do you know what I mean? Like, make it a bit organized. Use your authority a bit. But no, this guy just was talking, bantering, laughing, everything. Meanwhile, I'm still looking for my purse in my thing. And at one point, I did see my driving license. But I thought, in my head, I just thought, can't deal with this shit. Not so early in the morning. So I was like, oh, you know what? I think I'll sit at home. And he was like, okay, bye. Like, literally, okay, bye. And I thought, wait, what? Like, is that the customer service I'm getting from Rymans? I mean, don't get me wrong. I haven't been in Rymans for many years. Like, I'm talking about many years. Especially when you've got the likes of Amazon. But I remember the years when I used to go to Rymans was to get printer paper. But Class Olson actually does it cheaper. But I mean, they could be in competition with prices now. But I haven't actually ever gone or needed to go to a Rymans. Now, the fact that this is how the manager's behaving in front of staff, because I like to think you lead by example, so you're teaching your staff to also do the same thing. So that pissed me off, and that was first thing in the morning, and don't piss me off first thing in the morning. But he got off lightly, because I just thought, you know what, I'm going to vote with my feet and walk out. So then I went to the usual Western Union place, and it was nice, quick, everything, blah, blah, blah. Had a little banter with the guy as well. It was fine. Transaction sent. Person on the other end happy. Everyone's happy. But I wasn't happy with Rymans. But, well, you can't have everything, I suppose. So, another thing. There's a small business shop. And I don't name names of small businesses. And there's a poster up there that says that their shop will be closed for a few days due to, I can't remember. And I've seen that same notice there for a very long time. So I'm just wondering, how long is a few days? A week? Because I thought a few days might mean like 2 or 3. But is it a week? 2 weeks maybe? I don't know. And the thing is, what would be great, just like on one of my old podcasts I mentioned, when people say it back in 5 minutes, it'd be nice for you to put the time that you wrote that on, because how long is 5 minutes? Don't lie to us. If you're going to be 20 minutes, don't put it back in 5 minutes. Just be honest and say back in 20 minutes. Just be honest. You're still going to lose a customer anyway, but if you have the time that you put it on and say like, back in 20 minutes, that customer might hang around for a little bit or might just go and see the shop next door, not buy anything and come back to you. Who knows? But whichever way, you're still going to lose a customer. But yeah, so this shop, it's a bit sad really because I hope everything's okay. I was not another small business that's like dying out or something, but yes, I'm not sure how many days or few days are, but I like going into that shop. So, as I mentioned before, it was my birthday, and such a great day, seriously. Got nice gifts and everything, and I got a bracelet from my best friend and her family. Well, kind of like my family. I've kind of moved into their family, do you know what I mean? And the cheek of it, she actually said to me a day after, I bet you've been looking around for it trying to find out how much it cost. I was like, why would I do such a thing? Because I don't do things like that. You know why? Because if it is cheap, I will judge you on that. I will literally judge you on that. That's why I never check for prices. And also I realised that with my mini BFF, she made me do that Wii thing. Is it Just Dance or something? And I'm very competitive. And when I play with kids just like I'm playing with adults. I don't let kids win. It's for parents to do that. Oh, yeah, oh, you won. Yeah, you got perfect. I don't do it that way. If a kid comes to me, says, let's have a competition, let's have a challenge, I will play like a grown-ass adult. I don't care. If you cry, go to your parent and cry. But I play for real. I play like I paid for it. So anyway, so we've Just Dance. Oh my gosh. Let's just say I was sweating. I was in a lot of pain, but I was still like doing some crazy ass dance moves. And I could feel my bones creaking because I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to OAP stage. And I was like, but I was still fighting it. And I was getting perfect. And I think I did actually win against her. I mean, she's only 8. I think I actually did win against her. But the thing is, I said to her, don't worry about it, because tomorrow you'll be fine. For me tomorrow, I'm literally won't be able to move. I will not be able to move. And it was a true story. I could not move the next day. It was so painful. All my joints, every single part of my joints. So I've literally decided that the ShortOne is not fit. But I'm fighting it. I tell you what, I'm going to be like the next Madonna, where I'm like 150 years old and I'm there in leotards, hot pants, everything, and I'm dancing there. I'm dancing like I'm Bruno Mars. Trust me, I will be like that. I promise you, she says, after ordering a pizza. But I'll tell you about the pizza story in a second. So anyway, let's just take a quick break. So, like I said at the beginning, don't forget www.iamjustacustomer.com, Facebook and Instagram, it's I Am Just a Customer. On Twitter, it's I'm Just a Customer. It's important that you follow or whatever, like, whatever it is, because if you are one of my fans and you do continue listening, you won't know when a podcast is not up, and I don't want you to feel like, oh, she's not thinking about it. I think about it all the time. Even when I was literally lying down and like carefully and my joints were hurting, I was thinking I should do a podcast. But I just couldn't. I couldn't move for anything. If there was an emergency outside, I would have been just like, you know what? Fuck it. I've had my life. Let everything around just crumble. I'm cool like this, you know? If King Kong or Godzilla came through my window, I'd be just like, take me now. So don't forget, if you don't follow the socials, you won't get to hear the updates. And also, you know, if you do follow the socials, say hi, say something. Yeah. But, so anyway, that's it for now. Oh, and also don't forget to share it with your friends or your enemies. This is what you do. If you hate my podcast, share it with your enemies. If you love my podcast, share it with your family, friends. But obviously, be careful of the age group that you share it with. Anyway, let's continue back with the rest of the podcast. So I mentioned Domino Pizza earlier. So this is literally, you're getting this off the press because this is what happened right now. So I ordered Domino's, and bearing in mind, last time I ordered Domino's, everything was perfect. Like, it came on time, the tracker was the tracker was perfect, everything. So I thought I was on some kind of VIP like status. No, I ordered today and ordered it, everything. That stupid tracker came on. Bloody can't stand it. But I still had it just to keep checking, you know, is it in quality control, is it prepping, all that kind of stuff. And then I'm getting more and more hungry, and then it was like, out for delivery. Woohoo, yeah, great, out for delivery. So I give it like about 5 minutes, then I start hovering around the sitting room, because I want, when that intercom goes, I want to be there. In the sitting room, hovering, and, you know, loitering, and all this kind of stuff. And nothing. I even washed the dishes, arranged things for a bit, like in the living room, arranged things in the kitchen. Still nothing. So I called up. Hi, where's my pizza? The guy goes, oh, there's something wrong with that tracker. I rolled my eyes. I thought, that's a good one to say straight away. Something wrong with our trackers, but let me just check your order. So he put me on hold for whatever. Comes back, says, it's just come out the oven. It's taken a long time to come out the oven. It's just come out the oven. So what we're waiting is for the driver to come. But it should be there in about 10 minutes. Okay, fine. 10 minutes it is then. Longest 10 minutes in my life. Because I was actually tracking 10 minutes. It was the longest 10 minutes of my life. So, again, I gave them an extra 5 minutes because I just kind of thought, you know what, let's just allow. Called up, hi, where's my pizza? I'm so sorry, we're still waiting for... Oh, you know what, before the guy could finish, I was like, cancel it right now. Because, you know, I'm about to shout at you. I'm about to really shout at you. I'm about to, like, my temper has reached its limit. And the next word you say, I'm going to boil over. So I was like, you know what, just cancel it. Refund me. Done. And then he goes to me, yeah, I think that's probably a good idea. And I thought, what? What? You're a business? You think it's a good idea for a customer to cancel? Shouldn't this be the time when you're trying to kind of push me not to cancel, you know, and then maybe give up on the pushing after a while? Like, seriously. Or even say, we'll give you a free, I can't think of the most cheapest thing, I don't know, a free dip, something stupid like that. But I just thought, you know what, you really don't want my business. Obviously, you've proved it to me time and time and time again, only since my last order, which was perfect, but time and time and time again, you've proved to me so much that you don't want my business. And unfortunately, For me, I've always said it and I'll say it again. The best delivery pizza is Domino Pizza. I have yet to find someone that can compete. And Pizza Hut better not even try and get involved in this because Pizza Hut rank. But so far, Domino's is the best one, and they do the best garlic bread. Not from the baguette thing, they do the actual garlic pizza bread. So it is good. But this particular Domino's, I don't know, they're just not serious. And you know what? I live about a 3-minute walk from them. Like, seriously, about a 3-minute walk from them. And I don't get it. How my delivery can take so long. Even if you just say, it's just come out of the oven. What have you been doing all this time? Seriously. Oh, jeez. I'm trying to swear less nowadays on my podcast. Sometimes you can't help it, but that one I gave it a good go. I didn't end up swearing. So I went to Marks and Spencer's and I was running an errand for a friend and he wanted some flowers for somebody. And I was like, okay, cool. At first I was like, okay, I'm not really a flowers person. I mean, even when people buy me flowers, I tend to say, don't buy me flowers. Flowers, to me, represent love and all that kind of stuff. Yes, it's romantic, but flowers die. So what you're saying is that the love for me, you're just going to die. Get me a plant. And if you really love me, get me a bonsai tree. Because they don't die, do they? But anyway, don't get me a bonsai tree, because they're boring. But anyways, I was going to get some flowers and everything. So I was like, ooh. Kind of like left it for my own devices on which flowers to get. And I was like, no. Tell me what colours she likes or what flowers. He was unsure, but he gave me the colours instead. So, cut a very long story short, we did try, did try to go to the flower box on the high street. But they were just closing, so that was annoying. Not annoying, like, you know, damn them. It's just like the timing was bad. And so I ended up going to M&S. So I went to M&S and I was taking picture after picture after picture of all the flowers and giving him the prices as well. And then waiting for him to confirm, which he did eventually. Then, because he wanted a card, I had to go to the card section. Picture after picture after picture. Like, I've got a feeling I've used up all my memory on my phone. So, this wait for him to confirm which card felt like eternity, to the point I had to call. But when I sat there, because literally I was leaning on a till at the end of an empty till, and I just sat there with a massive plant, and I'm waiting for an answer from someone. And I actually thought, isn't it weird? Like, isn't security like watching me? Kind of thinking, what's she doing? But it's good for me because, you know, it's nice to know that I'm not being profiled in any way. And I don't mean just racial profiling, but even height profiling or hairstyle profiling. But it was just weird how I felt suspicious. For some reason, I was feeling suspicious. Like, I was listening to my MP3 as well. Like, I wanted to listen to my MP3. I was like, no, don't put your hands in your pocket, because then you stole something. So I literally just stand there like a statue until he finally confirmed. And I was standing there, I swear, for a good 15 minutes. Until finally confirmed everything. And I was like, oh, great. Okay, so now I've got to go to the till. You know, and then transaction done. When he was happy, everyone's happy. Great, boom, boom. But it's just so weird when, I don't know, for me, sometimes I feel, do I look like I'm stealing something? You know, when you're in a shop and you pick up an item and you may put it back or you might put it in the other hand and you suddenly go into your bag. Doesn't that make you feel like, do I look like I'm stealing? I mean, some of you do without thinking, but sometimes when you're aware of it, it's like, was that too obvious? But yeah, But I've never stole anyway. Yeah, never stole. So I had to think then for some reason. So I went to the post office as well. And there's a woman in there I can't stand. I don't think she can. I don't think she can't stand me either. So we're both neutral in that point. And she always said every time, you know, the collections part at the back of the post office, the big one, at the back of the post office, like if you're returning, I don't know, if you've got a big parcel or something, if you're collecting an item, like an Amazon item, every time this woman's in charge of the checkouts, because she's in charge of the for the collection, the deliveries as well. Every time she'll see, it's not just me, so I'm not looking at it like anything into it. It's not, I see people before me, with me, after me. No, sorry, you don't collect here from it anymore, you have to go to the tills. And you kind of think, well, isn't the whole point of self-checkout and then that collection counter meant to reduce the queues? But no, she's always like, no, go to the queues. And I sort of think to myself, I bet you're hated behind closed doors by your colleagues. Because you're the job's worth that is like palming off extra work for the girls behind the till. But when she says that, you can't really argue because she's telling you of a new rule, but it only seems to be her rule because every time I've been there, no other person complains. But anyway, so there's this nice woman there and she helped my whole transaction of sending something on delivery to be delivered before 12 the next day. She even went and said, oh, hang on a minute, we've got a promotion at the moment. And she put in the code and it even got cheaper. And she was so nice. She was so lovely. Like to the point where I think to myself, I wish you were here all the time. But then maybe she doesn't like doing all that. So I don't want to wish it upon her. But she was really, really nice. You know, I walked out, you know, feeling happy. See, I don't tip waitresses, right? Or waiters in restaurants. Or I try to avoid to. Unless they do something extraordinary. But And I do that only because I don't tip other industries. Now, this woman at the post office, she was worth at least £5.50. A £5.50 tip. Because I was started off the checkouts and I was doing everything, because I use the checkouts quite a lot, so I knew what I was doing. And then at one point she goes, you know what, just come over here, come to this till, I'll just do everything for you, be a lot quicker. I wasn't being slow. I could have taken offence to that, but I wasn't being slow or anything. But it was just the fact that she treated me like a valued customer. Like, yes, there is another post office not too far from you, but it was like, no, come in, I'm grabbing you, you know, I'm going to do what you want me to do for you, and also I can make it cheaper. And at one point she goes, oh crap, 1 second. She popped her head in the warehouse room and she goes, oh, thank goodness. The DHL, whatever, because they haven't arrived yet to pick up the stuff. She goes, if that had happened, we'd have a slight problem. So she was really nice. I think her name was Lindy, Lindi. It's a common name, but it was slightly spelt different. But yeah, so she was cool. I think I want her to become my new best friend. So, couple of other things. All right. It's getting a bit warmer. Whoever did that rain dance, the one that worked before to separate the heat wave, then it rained for a long time, then it got cooler. Please get your dancing shoes and do that rain dance, because I don't want this heat wave again. I really don't. And you know what? I'm not trusting old people, because what I do before I get dressed, I look out the window. Yeah, you can imagine what I'm wearing. Peek out the window to determine of what I'm going to wear. Whether it's going to be summer thing, like a t-shirt, or a jumper, or a coat, or I don't know, whatever else. And I saw this woman, elderly woman, and there was a bit of wind, I could tell by her hair blowing, and a bit of her jacket. and she went to sort of cover her chest up a bit more, and she had that face that went, ooh. So I thought, oh, cold. Great. Jumper. I wore a jumper today, and it was hot. Hot, hot, hot. But at least I haven't encountered any spiders yet. And all those people putting spiders on Facebook, please don't. I'm petrified of spiders. But yeah. So that's going to be the end of this podcast, this end of this week's podcast. And we should be back to normal. So on a happy note to those who really like this event, and I hate it, it's Christmas soon. Oh, gosh. It's like bar humbug all over again. Can't stand Christmas. But anyway, hope you enjoyed this week's podcast, friends. And I'll see you next week.
Oh, this you crazy mother.